This
professional
conference will now be recorded.
with about 11 years of hands-on experience in testing. I have led multiple automation projects across various domains. I also have implemented efficient test automation framework in Playwright, and have worked with multiple other tools as well, Selenium, APM, and others. So, but Playwright is where I really found my groove. I love that. Here I'm with mentoring program to share what I have learned, help you all fast track your automation skills, and build a space where questions are always welcome. Don't hesitate to question me anytime. Okay, a little about more about me. I started my career as a manual tester. It took a while, definitely, like everybody else, for me to start with the automation, but with the help of my seniors, I could understand how to code. So that's when I thought, okay, the way they taught me, I liked it, and I had put more efforts to learn how to do that. Over time, I started to guide my team members and new joinees also. Since then on, teaching became my passion. Along with my QA work, I also am part of L&D team through which I give trainings within the company. So the corporate L&D trainings also I'm doing it. Whether you are starting your career or upskilling for the next big opportunity, this training definitely will go with a deep technical knowledge, with practical project based learning in that. So ensuring you not only understand the concept but also apply them with the confidence. So before we start the session, let's have ourselves muted, a generic instruction, so that there won't be any background noises, so that won't disturb anybody. And please allow me to explain the topic in detail. And in case if you have any questions, you can raise your hand. You can see that in the bottom. You can see that. And if you're not able to ask me the question over chat or over talk, so you can definitely ping over the chat and I will look over that maybe when I get time or at the end of the session. I will definitely answer. So that way we can maintain the decorum. And I want the session to be interactive, so I will ask questions, and also we follow the same order in answering as well. You raise the hands and unmute to answer so that everyone can hear and there won't be any clashes in voices. So yeah, going over from the poll, we got to know there are few folks who are not aware of automation. They are new to automation or maybe the programming languages totally. So I will go over in the same pace. In case if you want me to slow down, please let me know. I can do that. Now I'll start with the PPT. Hope you can see my screen. Still? Okay. Yeah. Going over to who can enroll to this course. It's a generic question everybody would be having. So anybody who is interested in test automation, it could be freshers, experienced, any professional you are, be it BAs or even estates, test leads, any type, you can go with that. And developers who want to understand what Playwright is, what you can do within your level, within your control, you can still do with this. And manual testers who want to learn automation, all the people who want to understand the basic JavaScript knowledge and then go on to Playwright, all those who want to upskill, who are automation testers and who want to know, maybe you are doing something with Selenium and you want to know what Playwright is, how you can get useful with that. All those people can go with this, and anyone who is exploring API or visuals tests, we can do that as well along with the UI automation. Now what will you learn by end of this course? You can build end-to-end test cases using Playwright and JavaScript. You will get a mini project, so that way you can have the hands-on experience to with the end to end, like the way you have to do in your current company or going to the next job you want to do. All those things we will be covering. It could be the performance, performing the UI, API, all the BD testing related to the real time project scenarios. We are going to cover that. Then you are going to learn page object model. Don't get scared by hearing the new terms. All the freshers or all the people who are not very much aware of automation, we will go through that slowly one by one. And you also know how to upload the files, download the files, use the Excel integration, use how to use the JSON. All those things will be covered. And also as part of elements, like the fields that you see, the buttons, all the things, the dynamic elements, the frames, alerts, everything that you need for a perfect project, you would be learning here. And also, we will also learn the test retries, parallel execution, and cross-browser testing. That way, the real-time issues that you would face while doing that in your work, you will be able to figure it out here. Now, I'll go over what is Playwright. So Playwright is an open source automation library developed by Microsoft, used for testing web applications. So I repeat, it is only for web applications. We cannot automate mobile applications. Yes, there is a possibility to automate mobile browser related applications using emulator. I'll go over it when it is the right time. And also it enables you to reliable and fast end-to-end testing across multiple browsers and platforms. So it supports Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Safari in its own terms. So you have a Windows laptop, you can still test Safari using WebKit. WebKit is a place where it will give you a chance to test how it works in Safari. So that is the base. Safari takes a part of WebKit and it will run on top of it, so that way you can use that in your Windows system as well. Generic question, everybody whoever joins this session would definitely have it, whether I should go with Playwright or Selenium. Be it a professional who is already working in Selenium would be having, why should I even think of Playwright? Or it could be like a person who wants to start the automation. He'll be thinking, okay, should I really go with Playwright or with Selenium? Here are the differences. You can see that. So architecture wise, it is headless browser. It supports headless browser, event driven architecture using WebSockets. So this might be a higher level. If I go deeper into it, probably it will be like, I can say in a simpler terms, Playwright would be very simple to understand compared to Selenium. Selenium has multiple layers. You need to have multiple libraries to perform certain actions, to do anything in specific. Probably it could be, to have a BDD, you will need to make the executions or have anything. You need testng. You need to have something separate. You need to have everything added one after the other. That itself would take time. Instead, Playwright, it will be very simple. So, the languages almost supported by Playwright and Selenium are almost same. The more common languages that are expected in the market with respect to Playwright would be JavaScript and TypeScript. Browsers, I already covered it. So Chromium is a place where it gives a platform for, from there the Chrome and Edge both are developed. So, both Chrome and Edge used are using Chromium. So that way both are covered. And Firefox, then is the Safari, that is the WebKit that I was talking about. When it comes to Selenium, you probably would have noticed you need to have a separate system to, use Safari, or you need to have that integrated in the CI/CD pipelines to run them, where it will be again going to the I uh, to the MacBook where it will run. Whereas in Playwright, you can just have it in one place and it will run together. So when it comes to pricing, both are free. Both are open source, but only thing is Playwright is backed by Microsoft, so you will have better features, better uh, better speed, better quality, I can say that way. When it comes to performance, oh my god, Playwright is so good. You can see some of the test cases would be failing in Selenium. Tends to be like almost you have the system ready, you open it and you see, you will be trying to find some element, and then you will be like, oh my god, my test is going to fail now because my time is going it is not waiting as it is required. Okay, let me give some wait time. Now you're waiting and the test case takes longer and longer. So here in Playwright, it has its own built-in wait. It will wait till that element is visible. You need not worry about the problems. It will just take over, and you don't have to worry so much about it. When it comes to the types of testing that is allowed or possible with Playwright, it is end-to-end web testing. Even Selenium does that. Apart from that, what else you have? API testing, accessibility testing, mobile web testing, all these things are covered. So that's added features that Playwright is giving. And when it comes to parallelization, see, Selenium needs again the integrations. It again requires, oh my god, I need to add these things. You need to give extra commands. You need to put all those things in place. Then, whereas when it comes to Playwright, you just need to provide one line and then that's it. It does the rest of the things for you. Next, reporting capabilities. So it has its own built-in capability for capturing execution details and tracing. We can use the HTML report. We can use its own screenshots. You need not, extra put efforts to learn how to do that. It will be very simple. Along with it, it also allows you to take other reports as well. That's an added advantage. But again, Selenium, it needs a third-party integration. You need to add extra features, extra plugins, and then you need to go with it. Then the community support. Yes, here you might see Selenium might be established, and also the active community you can see. That's because larger audience are there. Large, it has been adopted by a lot of others. It has a broader adoption compared to Playwright. So small and active community, but it is definitely growing. When it comes to Playwright, it has started in 2020. Compared to that time till now, it has been tremendous. It is so rapid. You can see the difference between those two. Now going with the CI integration, there is no difference. Yes, both supports that. No doubt in that. And then going with the prerequisites, you just need Node.js. That's the only thing you need. And apart from that, yes, JavaScript is one thing that you will definitely learn. But when it comes to Selenium as well, you would learn some one or the other language. So the same way when it comes to Selenium, the prerequisites are like you need to install the browser drivers, then Selenium standalone server, or any plugins or the extensions that you want to. All those things comes into prerequisites, and by the time you install, set up everything in your system, it would take at least 30 to 40 minutes minimum for a Selenium project to start working. But when it comes to Playwright, I can say hardly 5 to 10 minutes. Yes, it is only 5 to 10 minutes. So, like I was telling, the weight strategy, uh, so it has its own built-in weights. You don't need to do anything extra. You just need to provide, like, there is one syntax, done, that's it. And then manually, you need to wait for Selenium. So, you probably people who have used Selenium would know you need to give the explicit wait so that it waits for the elements to be visible, and if it takes extra a few seconds or milliseconds, then also your test cases would have failed. So all those things are ruled out here. You don't need to worry so much about it. Then real device support, yeah, it offers emulation like I was telling. So in the browser, if you go and inspect and provide if it is a mobile device, and you can choose which one to uh, be the device configurations, be it iPhone or Android, you will be able to see. In that, again, in the browser, you can go ahead and perform the actions. So when it comes to Selenium, it can support real devices, but you would know the real devices here means probably the mobile applications that will come with the APM. That is the one. Then the headless mode. So in Selenium, what happens? Headless mode is something like I don't want to see what is happening on the UI. I instead want to run the test cases. So that is where it just runs the test cases in the background. It will not even come anywhere on the screen. That is called headless mode. So those things are supported only with Chrome and Firefox browsers. But when it comes to Playwright, it is supported with all the browsers, whatever we covered here. All the 4 browsers which I was talking about, it is supported. Then the browser drivers. While installation itself, it offers you the built-in browser drivers. You choose which driver you want, or you choose, I want all the drivers, it will come. That's it. You don't need to worry. You don't need to worry about its versions. You don't need to upgrade all those things. You need not worry what kind of things are needed to start doing. Nothing. It will just take care of everything on its own. When it comes to Selenium, you need to explicitly download the drivers, put it in the right place, install, and in case if it is upgraded or the versions are not supported, you need to change them, and then it will go further. Then the record and playback, yes, it has with on its own, like while you install, immediately you will get code gen. That is something similar to Selenium IDE, where you can record and play back the test scripts. So in case if your tests are simple, you need not worry about what you need to write. You just record and play back, you will get the scripts. Selenium, like I was telling, you need to have Selenium IDE. So with all these, the last point that I again cover is ease of setup. It is very easy. Like I was telling, it only takes about 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. That's it. But for Selenium, it takes more time. It will require additional efforts. You need to know where it is going wrong, what kind of issues you might face. All those things you need to check. Let me go over to the next slide. What is not supported by Playwright? Again, a generic question. This is mostly like an interview question, I can say. Most of the people would be thinking, okay, now Playwright is giving so many things. So what is not there? Playwright doesn't support native desktop applications. Nope. It only allows web applications. Then real mobile browsers or mobile apps. No, there are no real mobile browsers or no browser mobile applications supported by it. Definitely, it's a growing community, and it is compared to how it was in 2020. Now it has grown to the very good level. I'm sure even mobile apps automation would come in future. For now, it is not supported. And then it doesn't support IE11 or older version of Edge. Why? Because it has got older APIs that is like almost deprecated or anything. So for that reason, Playwright doesn't support. And next thing is non-HTTP protocols like FTP or F5 or any custom protocols are not supported. But if you consider, would this really be a concern if you're going with a web application automation? Any of these? I don't think so. Now, the big question comes, why choose Playwright? That too over Selenium. Most of the people would be thinking, okay, Selenium is like largely adopted and it is there, like most of the people are using it. If I really have to go with it or not, we have these questions answered. Playwright is a modern architecture. It supports all the browsers that I had mentioned. And this has been a very hot selling tool in the market now. And it is more faster and reliable compared to Selenium. Definitely, it will be having very fewer flaky tests. And also you can give retries where you retry the flaky test and it will give you the response. Okay, first time it had failed, second time it had passed. It will give you that kind of response also. You need not worry about doing it again and again. It takes care of its of those things on its own. Then the growing demand, like you have seen probably in the market, you are seeing growing demand is more compared to Selenium. Yes, Selenium dominates, but definitely Playwright will gain the traction. Now, if you have seen, probably most of the startups are going with this, and even the product based companies. Reason being, they have the codes written mostly in JavaScript or TypeScript, and they want to have that integrated and do the shift left testing. Shift left testing is when you develop, you have the automation scripts also ready. That way, they can run immediately and verify. So that way you have the entire thing in one place, and even the developers can understand what you are trying to write as part of the test cases. Then future proof, definitely if you see how it was compared to now, it is like very good, very nice updates. It also aligns with the tech stacks, JavaScript, TypeScript, CI/CD pipelines, API testing, whatnot. You have everything. Whatever you are asking, you have everything there. Like I was telling, developer friendly. So it is built by the same team behind Puppeteer. Playwright offers a smoother developer experience and better integration with modern tools. So bottom line, I say definitely Selenium is ruling, but over time, Playwright will rule. But and you will be future ready. Your job will be secure for sure. You will have more opportunities, more demand, but very few people in that. So Playwright is no longer niche. It's becoming mainstream automation tool in tech system. If you are skilled in JavaScript or TypeScript and want to work on cutting edge projects, definitely Playwright offers strong career momentum. Yes, this is one more thing that I want to show. Over the past 1 year, okay, if you want to see the data, I can show that as well. Let me open up that. Yeah. Over the past 1 year, this is the data. You can go to npmtrends.com. I have pulled out the data for Cypress, Playwright, and Selenium WebDriver. You can see the number of downloads that are increasing. How many downloads over the past 1 year? When it comes to Cypress in green, you see the numbers, and Selenium. Compared to that, definitely Playwright is growing. Over the 5 years, again, you can see the trend. So here again, the things works out is that it will definitely be a mainstream tool in coming future for sure. Okay, so back to this. If anybody has any questions so far what we have covered, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll go over the Playwright features and the course content.
Hi.
Hi. Yes, Safwan.
Is TypeScript very different from JavaScript?
Syntax wise, it is very similar. Very minor changes are there. You will definitely go over it in this session, in this course.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'll go back to the slides.
Just a second. Hello.
Yes, Sandeep.
Uh, Playwright will support only Node.js. I think you mentioned in the
I'm sorry, can you come again?
Playwright supports only for Node.js or Java and any language.
It supports Java, Python as well, the C Sharp as well. For our course in this batch, we are covering Playwright with JavaScript, and that's why I said Node.js is required.
Okay. And one more question. Playwright will support only for a mobile web-based application or real-time devices also.
It supports only web applications. So even if you open in the mobile, that will be in the browser you would be opening, and that's where you would be seeing. So, can you see my screen? If you go over here and inspect, you can see clicking on this button, you can see the mobile view. So you can choose which type of browser, sorry, mobile device you want to see. Only those would be supported. Did I answer your question, Sandeep?
Where we can able to see? If
Sorry,
I'm
I
not
couldn't
clear.
get.
I mean, actually, you're sharing your screen for elements only, no?
Huh? I didn't get
I'm
you.
not here. I'm not here. Can you come again? Last 1 minute, I lost your network.
Can you see my screen, the browser?
Yes, I can be
Okay,
able to
let
see
me
that.
go over again. So in the browser, right click, inspect. You can see the elements console and all. Here, click on this icon which shows toggle device toolbar. Here you can choose which type of device emulator you want to see. Here it is Pixel 7 and that's the device emulator we have. But again, this is the browser that we have, not the mobile applications.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Going back to the PPT, if nobody has any questions.
I have a small doubt. If simulator means like real-time devices and emulator means web-based application, correct?
I can hear a lot of noise, Sandeep. I couldn't get you what you asked.
Now audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, my question is like emulator means mobile web-based application. Am I right?
Yes, emulator. It will be emulator, not even the real mobile.
Okay. If simulator means
It is the emulator. Simulator will be simulating what you want to do, that kind of thing. Emulator is the mobile device on the browser.
okay. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so now we already saw the Playwright features. It is for the end-to-end automation framework and it supports multiple browsers, fast execution with built-in tools. Now we will go over the course design and topics. The same is covered in the PPT. Instead, I would go with the course content. The one which is there in the website. You could have seen that in the website, in the Isha Training Solutions page. You could have seen that. So over to the first topic, we would be covering the yes, Rohit.
Is there any difference in a JavaScript or TypeScript?
Yes, there will be very minor difference. You would be going over that as well in the coming courses.
Okay, so are we covering that as well?
We are not going in detail with the TypeScript. It will be on a higher level. Our main focus will be on JavaScript.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so initially we will be starting with the setup. So Node.js installation and Visual Studio. Only those two are mandatory, the required tools that you would need. Today, probably if you had connected with your phone, that is okay. From tomorrow onwards, we will have hands-on. So I would suggest that you log in from your laptop or a PC. That way you can also practice while I am going through that topic. So for the basic question, like I don't know JavaScript, how will I go through? Yes, we are covering the JavaScript fundamentals. That way, how much ever it is required for automation, that part we will be covering in this. So initially it will be the variables. Variables, if you see there are types in that. Probably I might have mentioned, yes, I will be using the same PPT for the entire session. You will be going through the same thing. So understanding the var, let and const types, there are the various types of variables. You will be going over that in the fundamentals. And then the data types, the supported data types by the JavaScript, how are we going to differentiate what type of data it is, how is JavaScript going to read that, where is it going to handle, how is it changing, all those things. So strings, numbers, booleans, and if it is undefined, what is the date, what is the thing that you are getting as a response, what if it is null, what is that we are getting as a response, all those things would be seen. And then the operators, multiple operators are there over your uh, over the automation for your real-time experience. I would suggest that we learn all the operators that we have: arithmetic operators, assignment, comparison, and the logical operators. This might be in a higher level, I can say something like addition, subtraction, those kind of things, and then you are assigning some value to another variable or to some other variable only, I can say, like that. And then the comparison operators, so what if it is greater, lesser, those kind of things. And the logical operators like and, or, those things would be covered. Then the conditional statements, if else, in the generic terms, if we are taking, so if today is Wednesday, return me say number 3. If it is Thursday, return 4. Those kind of conditions. Then how is the switch statement works? So if it is this, the same conditions, if there are more than one condition, how are you going to handle that? All those things will be covered. Then going over to loops, if you want to perform something in a recursive manner, how are you going to do that? With the options that we have: for loop, while loop, do while. These are the common ones you would have seen in Java. There are JavaScript supports for off, where this will be useful in arrays. Then are the very important topic, the strings and the string functions. So here comes the interview questions. You might have seen most of the interviewers would be focusing on what are the string functions, how are you going to handle that, what is that, something like you need to find the duplicates, you need to find the reverse of a string, how are you going to write that, all those things we would be covering here. So that way you can be interview ready. And arrays, so array functions as well. So here is the for of loop. I would not be covering for of loop in the previous section, but here I will be covering it. You will be able to very clearly understand that. And then the objects, so in objects foreign loop will come. What are objects? Why do people call it as an object? What does it do? How is it different from arrays? Eventually you will be able to figure out where to use what also. What is that you need to add in case if you get such kind of a test case, what will be the best option to choose from? You will get to understand everything. So here in objects, how do you add the properties to it? How are you going to access them? How are you going to modify them? All those things you would be learning. And then another major interview questions you would see something on JSON. How are you going to read a JSON file? How are you going to read the data from the JSON file and write something to it? How are you going to modify in that? All those things would be covered. Basically the file options here. This is most likely used for the different data sets that you have. You can pass the data sets in the JSON and you would be getting different responses. You will be passing them in the loop. So that becomes a real-time scenario altogether. Then we go over the functions. So again, what are functions? Why do we need functions? How is it going to help us? Why are we supposed to write it? What does it return? What are the parameters it's going to take? How am I going to pass them? How am I going to read them? All those things you will be going through that. Then are the classes, objects, and constructors. Same comes here. Why do I have to write classes? Why do we have to separate things out? Why are there any objects here? Why are there classes objects? And what do we do in the constructors? Why are we even using constructors? What does the constructor do? All those things we will be covering as part of this. So mostly all the Java oops basic concepts will be part of this in a little different format. That's it. Those people who know Java, they will be able to easily understand what JavaScript does. And those who don't know JavaScript and Java need not worry about it. We will go in detail about that, all the topics. Then comes the Playwright. Once we have finished with JavaScript, we are confident on how to script. At that time, we will go with the Playwright. So that time we have already, by then to use JavaScript, we would have already used Node.js. So the installation would have been done. Even the Visual Studio, we would have already done the setup. Now we will be starting with an NPM project. So what do we do here? We just start with one simple command that does everything about the Playwright installation. Once that is done, we will start our first test and we will verify the results. No need to write anything. No need to make any changes. Playwright gives one example test case. You just run it to see how it works. You will understand the entire concept there. Then, before we even start with the coding, we will go over how to identify what test would fail, when it is failing, how are we going to debug it, what does the code gen do. Like I was telling, the code gen, it provides the record and playback functionality. So how can I use it? So for a person who is completely new to automation, it could be very difficult to start with something and get customized to the new changes. To start with scripting, go over it in the same speed like others. So for them this will be very beneficial. You will be able to understand what it is doing, how you can write the tests, how you can call something, how you can read the elements, how you can find the locators. All those things will be covered here. And with debugging, you will understand how step by step things are going. Like, okay, this is going inside this call. Oh, next it is assigning this value. You will be able to understand that. Then the essential topics. This is where you would understand the core concepts of Playwright. So Playwright's annotations, how am I supposed to start writing the test cases? What is required? What happens if I don't give it? What happens if I don't give async or await? Async is like you want to run something asynchronously, you don't want to wait for something. Uh, it just runs parallelly. Await is something you want to run in the sequential order. You want to go over one step at a time. You don't want, say for example, you are assigning some value to a variable, multiple variables, say in multiple lines. You don't need to wait for it to assign, right? Which can just go over, and that's how you don't need to provide a wait there. For the step, something like you want to perform a read action, and then you want to modify something, and then you want to delete something. You want to go in the same order. In those cases, we would be using await. So these are the key things that you will understand in this section. Over to the browser context and page fixtures. So browser context is like you want to run the tests in parallel. What will happen if you run the test in parallel? So multiple tests would be running. Will the browser have the same context? Will it pass the details to another one? How is that happening? Will it maintain a session? Will there be anything like cache or cookies or anything that will be passed on to another test case? Those things. Then the page fixtures. This is where you would be learning something like what I can pass as the data, or something like you want to understand the pages or the website, how the browser context is provided there, which browser I want to pass, or it could be something like a custom page fixtures also. Then the Playwright configurations. This is the heart of Playwright. The configuration, the config file does the major job. It will tell you where the test is, what test cases you can refer to, how you can run parallelly, what you can do for retries, what browsers you want to use. All those things will be covered there. If you understand the config file, you have learned Playwright majorly. Then going over to the locators. So people who have already used Selenium, you would be able to understand more quickly compared to people who are new. But there will be no difference. I will go over each and every topic slowly, so you will understand how to read the elements. What if there is a button? How do I understand? I have to go and click on it. How do I take what is there, what is the name of that button, what is the id of that button? All those things we will be getting it. And then if there is any dynamic elements, so how do you go over it? So I click on some drop down and then I get some details there. How am I going to click on it? Then how, say suppose that I click on uh, some link that provides some more details, that takes about some time to load. So how much time are you going to wait? All those things the Playwright basic methods will handle. You will understand those things in that. Then, like I was telling, so we would have covered the basic things like the buttons, the text box, or something like a field that you want to verify. Okay, this is the name of that field. Okay, I want to verify that is visible. It could be the title. All those things would have been covered in the previous one. Now, the things like I was telling, the drop downs, the radio buttons, check boxes, all those things, how are we going to handle them? A little different from the usual other elements. You will understand how to read them. And then the windows, so you click on something, it opens another window or it opens another tab. How are you going to handle that? How are you going to give the context to it? Those things we will be covering. Then the smart locators. Yes, Selenium doesn't have these things. I can proudly say that. Get by label, get by role, all those things, some more are there. All those things we will be covering. So, Playwright is so advanced that it is providing you new features. You don't need to worry about, okay, this is the label I have. How will I even write the XPath? How will I write the CSS? No, don't worry. Just give like get by label and it will give you the rest of the things. Then filtering and chaining the locators. Yeah, you have so many in-depth things that you would be having. And finally, how am I going to find the exact point I want to read? All those things you would be figuring it out here. Then handling web dialogues and frames. This is another interview question, I can say. Most of the people would be asking you, how are you going to handle the alerts? How are you going to handle the pop-ups? What are the things that you need to provide? What are the syntax or what is the function that is given by Playwright? All those things you would be covering here. Even the hidden elements that is hidden, how are you going to validate it? You're going to say, okay, I want to see if it is there or not, if it is present or not, if it is hidden or not. All the DOM concepts will come here. Then combining web and API tests. So very on a higher level, I will be going over and explaining what APIs are, how can we utilize them. But in depth, we will be going on how are we going to make calls to those APIs and handle the responses. So you make a call, you get a response. How are you going to read that? How are you going to filter out what kind of response you want? What is the exact field or value you are looking for? are you going to check that? How are we going to retrieve those things? We will be going over it. And also definitely that will be reducing the test execution time. In case if you're only going with the API tests, let me say this, it will take very less time, it will be quick, and you don't need to have the browser also. You can write a separate test case for only the APIs. So people who are thinking I need to use another tool for just the APIs, no need to worry about it. Playwright handles that also. You can give your own test cases, pass that, say you have multiple test data, pass them in JSON, and pass it on to your test case, run it in the loop, validate it against the response that you are looking for. All those things we can do. Then we are going over debugging the API calls. So, and also the network responses. So the Playwright has a method called root. Using that, we will be able to understand how we can go over and debug the API calls. We will go over this in the later sessions. Handling sessions as well. So, like I was telling, if you want to, say you make an authentication call, you log in and you have got some authentication. Now you need to store it. How are you going to store it? And then how are you going to pass it to another test case, or it could be another request? How are you going to modify that? All those things we will be covering here. With all these, another major interview question: how are you going to take the screenshots? This is like I see most of the people are coming and telling me, people asked me these questions in the interview: how are we going to take the screenshot? With the help of Playwright, all those things we will be doing. The second thing is the visual testing. Visual testing is something like you capture a screenshot of the screen. You know that screen will not have any difference even after you open it after a week or something. So in that case, you will have that captured. Then you go on to the website and you will cross verify with the screenshots with that. You're comparing, and if there is a small minor change also, Playwright will report it to you. This is the thing. Say for example, say we have this visual. Say this is moved a little towards the right. It will give you that as well. That difference, that level it will be giving you. Then handling file uploads and downloads. So how are we going to pass the data with the Excel sheet? How are we going to read it? How are we going to write it? How are we going to upload the files, download the files? All those things will be covered here. Once you're done with the basics of Playwright, you know everything now. You have learned everything in chunks and pieces. We will go over the page object model. Most of the companies expect these kind of models, so you have everything in the structured format. Whoever does any kind of programming would have already got know something like you need to work with other people as well. You will be pushing the changes and you need to see, okay, my change is not affecting others. I want to have a standard convention, a format that goes over with all the people. We discuss it with my team members and then I follow this. Okay, so what is that model that you're going to follow? We will take a page object model. How are we going to use it? What are the things that you can try in that? All those things. Why are we going to use even the page object models? Why are we going to use JSON files for test data? All those things. I mean, JSON file is a different part, but it was definitely add on to this concept. Then is the scalable test execution. How are we going to scale our executions? How are we going to make the setting up the robust configurations, controlling viewport SSL settings? This might be a fresh topic for few people. We will go over it in detail and you will be able to understand what it is, how are we going to use it. Maybe some of the companies may not require it, but yeah, it might be required for your interviews, so you can learn here. Then, like I was telling, the retry mechanism. So what Playwright does is it will give you an option. You can choose how many times you want to retry. Say for example, a test case is failing on some random time. for some random reason which doesn't occur all the time. Say something like a field is taking more time to get its data. In those cases, it might have failed for some time. Maybe like I tried a couple of times and I could not see it at all. At some point, the API is giving me the response. Because the API is taking more time, you are not getting the response. What Playwright does is, okay, now I'll try again. Okay, now it is giving the response. I'm proper at this time. First time it had failed, the second time it has passed. All those things you can provide as a retry mechanism. The next thing, whether you want to run the test cases one after the other or all at a time or few test cases together, how are we going to run them? Parallel execution comes into picture. Those things we would be providing. These all these changes you would be seeing in config file. We will go over it. Now, like I was telling, Playwright has its own reporting tool, like it will provide you the HTML file for the test cases that has passed or failed, how many retries were done, all those things it will give you. But if you want something more, you can go with Allure reporting also. And also, how are we going to integrate with Jenkins? What is that we need for CI/CD? How are we going to do? That we will come in this section. Then this is not covered as part of the course content in the website. This is something I would be doing as a demo only. We don't have a database connection here, so I'll be going to give you how we can connect to database and how we can execute the query. But this is not a real-time one. I don't have the database. Sorry for that, but we will understand. So in case if you have to implement that in your company, so you can definitely go over this concept and you can implement it there. Next, so somebody was asking me how are we going with the TypeScript. So yes, we are going mostly with the JavaScript. And then what is that TypeScript and JavaScript differs from? What are the basic syntaxes that you need to know? What are the basic methods that you can understand? What is that you have to understand as a difference? Playwright doesn't differentiate any of those. It will execute both of them, so you will not get to know from Playwright perspective. It's only from our understanding perspective. Then also building the structured test utilities. If you are going to have JavaScript and TypeScript, how are we going to use that? How are you going to build the utilities? Those things we'll be covering here.
Ishka, sorry to interrupt. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now, in Playwright, all the companies are using for most of the companies are using for TypeScript or JavaScript.
It is a debatable question. Both are used. So most of the people who are using TypeScript, they for development, they will go with TypeScript for automation. If they're using JavaScript for development, they will go with the JavaScript for automation. If it is not related to any of these, I see most of the people going with JavaScript. Reason being, JavaScript is easier compared to TypeScript to understand. Did I answer your question,
Okay,
Sandeep?
yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, please
Okay.
go ahead. A small one more doubt actually. Apart from this, this everyday session is there,
Yes,
a
it
training
will be
session.
there.
There is no any breaks, na? Just a Sunday or something.
Sorry. Can we go over that at the last? We will cover of the course content. Let's not deviate from the
Yeah.
topic. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Please
you.
go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay. So the people who have worked with Selenium, you would have understood what the Cucumber thing is or the feature file is. Basically, it is like writing in given when then format. So anybody from the team, be it BA, PO, Scrum Master, tester, developer, manager, anybody can understand what is going on with that particular step. So we will be going with that as well. Yes, with all these, we will automate a real-time website. I will give one website so you can try a mini project. and also mock APIs, so you can take the responses and perform specific test cases there. So people who are wondering what kind of test cases I can write, I will be giving questions like these are the test cases you can start with. You will go over these steps and perform these actions and get this response. Like that, I will be providing few of the test cases in the descriptive manner. You will try the project on your own. If you get stuck anywhere, you can definitely ask me. I will be there to help you. Same goes with the APIs, the most common ones put, post, delete, get, all those things we will be covering as part of this. So once this is done, you would be putting the details in GitHub, and that project you can project anywhere in your interviews as well. You can give the link to that GitHub link, and you can showcase that you have did this project, you have this kind of an experience, you know Playwright, like that. So yes, I have covered all the topics. Now we can go over the questions. If anybody has any questions, we can go. Please raise your hands and go in the order. Yes, Sandeep.
Yeah, I mean, actually, in the yeah, in the conversation only, I asked for one question. I mean, this session is every day is continuing, like any like in between, like we have any holiday for Sunday. Aisha, can you hear me? Hello, hello, Isha, can you hear me?
Yeah, we heard you, Sandeep. I don't know about Isha.
Guys, you can hear me? I think I can't hear Isha
Yes, yes,
voice.
we can hear you. We can hear
We
you.
can hear you.
I think Isha is going to rejoin one.
I guess we lost them.
Yes, we lost them. So she's going to rejoin back again. I think so.
Should we stay or should we leave?
I think she's back.
Sorry, my bad. There was some internet issue. Yes, Sandeep, to answer your question, the sessions will go from Monday to Friday every day. There are no planned leaves or anything as such as of now. It will go for 25 to 35 days based on our speed, how well we are picking up. In case if there is any other doubts that we are getting in between, that would be delayed. Will the
As
notes
of
be
now, planned days. Oh no,
yes,
sorry to interrupt. As of now, the planned days is at 25 days or 30 days? 25 days.
25 days will be the planned one.
Okay, thank you. I think one more question. After
Yes.
end of this project, for many projects, whether we can able to provide some any tips like interview preparation. This is it's useful for us to
Yes,
crack the.
as and when we are going with the topics, I will be providing the interview questions then and there itself, so you can cover that also.
Can I ask one question? Actually, sorry to say, actually, I didn't check it in anywhere. What is the course fee?
You can check
Otherwise,
that
can
with
I?
yeah, it is 6,900 rupees INR. You can check with the Isha admin team. They will be able to guide you. In case if you want their number, I can provide that as well.
Yeah, it's helpful for us to like in the group itself on information where we can able to pay the fee.
Yes, I
Yeah, I
can
mean
share
like
that in WhatsApp as well.
I think the bank details are like a phone pay or something. It is useful for us in a common group itself only. Then everybody knows and then they can able to pay. Thank you.
Sure, I will provide that.
I think tomorrow onwards it will continue for the next session. I mean, it will start for tomorrow onwards, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Hi, Isha. This is Madhuri.
Yeah.
So you have only 9 p.m. sessions as per ISA solutions, or you have any like daytime classes?
Okay, this session is at 9 p.m. You can check with Isha admin team. They will be able to guide you. I'm not sure if there are any morning sessions, but you can check with them.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, hi, Pritam this side.
Yeah.
What will be the start date of this course? Any
Today
tentative
is
date?
the today is the demo session. From tomorrow onwards, it will be starting. Day one, it will be.
Okay, and are we going to record each one of the session?
Yes, we will be.
And you'll share those recording with us, correct?
Yes, Isha team will be sharing that.
Okay, okay, okay.
I think we lost for the camera what we are presenting, Isha.
I stopped sharing.
Okay, okay, fine, okay, fine. I think every day like recording session will be there because of we lost some. In case we need to play back the recording video, we can able to get some get a knowledge. We
Yes,
can
we
able to
will be.
practice.
And does that recording has any validity? Means it will be valid for only 6 months or 1 year, or it will be valid for any time?
You can check that with Isha team. I suppose it will be valid for lifelong.
Okay, okay.
Yes, Deepan, I think you have
Hi, Akshay.
something. My name is
Uh,
Akshaya. In case if you're getting confused with Isha Solution.
yes, okay. I
Yeah.
have after completing the course, we have any more placement services available.
There are few not related to Google, but yeah, I can share them.
Okay.
Yep. Yes, Aditya.
Hi, Akshay. Are we looking anything into cloud, Akshay? Like once the reports are generated, those reports are being uploaded to S3 buckets automatically.
No, we are not covering that.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Preet this side. So
Yes,
will you cover only JavaScript? You will not take the TypeScript, correct?
most of the course will be based out of JavaScript. Very few topics I'll be covering with TypeScript.
Okay, okay.
Are you providing real-time project training? Yes, I will be giving you a mini project. Do you have morning session? I think that is answered already. Will the notes be provided? Yes, by end of the session, I will be providing the notes. How to query solve after class? So basically, I will be going over 5 minutes for the previous session in the beginning of the class and 15 minutes at the end of the class for the current class that we are going over. So we can solve the queries there. we can get the question solved. I'll be giving the assignment on a weekly basis, if not daily, based on the topics. So you can go over them and you can come back in case if you have any questions. Mostly the queries, mostly the assignments you would be able to do it on your own. So for everybody, please connect with Isha. If you want to make the payment call, you can call the admin team. If you want to have the next sessions tomorrow, you can start with the registrations today. Aditya, do you have any questions? You have your
Just small question. Like, are you sure
yeah.
like you're going to cover the whole syllabus in 25 days?
I suppose I can. If you think it is less,
No,
it all
no,
depends on how you're going to practice.
no. Like the content which you have said was like it was enormous, elaborately. You said like most of the topics that could be covered. So I'm just wondering like whether it will be completed in 25 days or will it take a more time?
That's why I said it will be 25 to 35 days. In case if we are slowing down in any of the topics, we can still take maximum of 35 days.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. Thank you, Akshay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Kundan. Thanks all. In case if we are good with the call, we can drop.
Yeah, hi, Shaswati. I think we can able to contact with the HR admin team only, like to pay the amount or what?
Yes, Isha team will be helping you. I can give you their contact numbers. You can call one of them and you can do the payments there.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think can you share with through WhatsApp group actually? If you're sharing this here, we cannot able to copy.
Yes, yes, I will. I will share it in WhatsApp group.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks all. Thanks for your time. Have a great day. See you.